Hey fellow animators, I am Miloš Černý, and today I am going to continue with part 2 of the animation layers video series. In the last video we talked about absolute layers, which are the basic ones, so if you didn't watch the previous video, you should do that. But today we will take a look at adjustment layers. Everything will be shown in CAD again, as usual. But as I said in previous video as well, most of the information here can be applied to other softwares as well. Adjustment layers are a bit more complicated than absolute ones. Well, not really, but they are a little bit harder to explain. Basically every key and animation done in adjustment layer gets added to the values of the nearest absolute layer underneath it. Let's show this on a very simple example just to illustrate what it does. We have one bone animated on one absolute layer. It's just kind of wobbling around as it moves forward. Now let's say that we want this bone to move up and then back down again as it moves forward, but we don't want to break the animation we already did. We could just move all the keys manually like this and try to get the look we want, but that's just redundant work and a lot of time wasted. And that's where adjustment layers come in handy. So let's create one. You can see the acronym for local adjustment layer here. They don't even have a color because they are tied with the closest absolute layer. Now what we want to do is key the beginning and the end of the animation, because we want the adjustment layer to be zeroed out at the start and finish as well. In the middle we will position the bone where we want it. And what happens is that the animation in the adjustment layer is mathematically added to the initial wobbly movement without destroying it. You can even change the tangents and immediately see the result. This way you can keep both curves separated and easier to edit. Okay, so now when we have some basic understanding of how it works, let's try a more real and useful example. We have a walk cycle animated for this goat, but the animation is collapsed already, which means that every bone has a key on every single frame of the animation. This makes it really hard to do any changes to the animation on this layer, but adjustment layers might help. Let's do one for the head. And rotate the head so the goat looks to the left for a while walking. Maybe even do another one for the tail. Make it fling a little at around frame 30 for example. Adjustment layers have a lot of use cases. You can even do the whole animation using adjustment layers. This is for example quite useful when doing some idle loop variations. You create an absolute layer, which is just the pose, no animation. Then you can animate a breathing into the adjustment layer. Do another for the head, and maybe another one for the tail, like we did for the walk cycle, and you have an idle animation done. Then, for creating another one, you can maybe switch head layer and keep the tail and breathing the same. Maybe offset the tail a bit to make it play at different time, and just like that, you have a new idle loop variation, from mostly the same animations. Adjustment layers are your friend, and as you will animate more and more, you will see that you will find out your ways how to use them creatively to finish the job faster. You might have noticed that CAD offers you two options for creating them. One is local one, which we were using in this video so far, and the other is world one. We can demonstrate the difference with this example. They work exactly the same, except the local one adds the values to the local axis of the bone, and the world one adds the values to the world axis. In this scenario, the rig follows a path. The animation was not animated properly and it is just for this presentation, so please don't judge. Let's add a local adjustment layer first. And move pelvis to the left, for example. Exaggerate it a bit and make it looped so we can see better. We see that the layer adds movement we just did to the local x-axis of the pelvis and moves it relative to its rotation. But if we apply world adjustment layer and do the same, we can see that the pelvis moves relative to the x-axis of the world, not local axis of pelvis. So that's the difference between them. However, I personally use almost exclusively the local ones, because they do what I usually need from the adjustment layer. But you should know that there is an option for the other one as well, because you might need it someday. So that's it for the adjustment layers. They are a bit more tricky than the absolute ones, but after you get used to them, they will help you solve many situations you encounter. I am Miloš Černý, and thank you for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you want to keep track of the new videos. These videos take a lot of time to make, so if you want to support me, leave a comment and like, or share the video. Thank you.